What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to take a look at this brand new 2020 Yamaha MT-09. Huge shout out and thank you to my friend Cameron. He's providing his personal motorcycle for today's video. I'll have his Instagram down below. Definitely check out the link to his Instagram. So this is Yamaha's Hyper Naked series of motorcycle. Super cool style of bike. So let's get into it. And the model that we're looking at today is finished off in Team Yamaha Blue and has an MSRP at $9,000. The Yamaha MT-09 features an 847cc liquid-cooled dual overhead cam inline 3-cylinder engine with 12 valves. It features a cross-plane crank, and the connecting rods are fractured in the manufacturing process for more precision. This engine pumps out 115 horsepower at 10,000 RPM and 65 pound-feet of torque at 8,500 RPM. And with a curb weight at 425 pounds and a 3.7 gallon fuel tank, you're looking at 44 miles per gallon and a 140 mile an hour top speed. This engine is also fuel injected and is only paired to the 6-speed manual transmission. Neutral is in between first and second gear, so it's a 1 down 5 up configuration. And of course it's chain driven, sending all the power to the rear wheel. The front suspension features 41mm inverted forks that are fully adjustable and offer 5.4 inches of travel. For the rear, we have a single shock with adjustable preload and rebound damping, and it has 5.1 inches of travel. The MT-09 features 3 disc brakes. We have 2 up front measuring 298mm and 245mm in the rear. They are both hydraulic discs with ABS. And this bike also features 17-inch wheels with a 180 tire in the rear and a 120 tire up front. The wheelbase is 56.7 inches with a seat height at 32.3. The overall width is 32.1 inches and minimum ground clearance is 5.3 inches. Taking a look at the exterior design with the 2020 MT-09, this features LED headlights. You'll notice an LED daytime running light, and then the 4 LED bulbs will light up differently. The farthest ones on each ends are your high beams and flashers, and then the ones in the center are going to be the running lights when the engine is actually running. This also has Yamaha Racing Blue trim around that, giving it an aggressive design. We get a gloss black front fender with Yamaha written out. The overall front end has an angular, aggressive design to it, making it look very mean out on the road. And then as we rotate our way to the side, you see MT-09 written out in satin silver on the satin black intake duct, and then the Yamaha Blue gas tank with some gloss black trim. And then looking down below that, we see part of the aluminum chassis as well as the exposed engine and the exhaust headers. We get some aluminum pieces in the rear with your foot pegs and brake lever. And this also features a side exit exhaust with a silver and black trim piece for the heat shield. Taking a look at the seat, this is a single piece seat made for 2 riders with a safety strap in the center and some gloss black trim below that. And then a satin black swing arm with satin blue wheels to tie in very nicely to the gloss blue exterior. And then moving to the rear, this features an LED brake light with running lights on each side, and then the LED brake light in the center of that. We have more sharp lines to it. You'll also notice an extension from the swing arm to house the license plate bracket, and that also features an integrated fender, which has a very cool look. And then on the farthest corners of the front and the rear of the bike, you'll see all 4 of the turn signals. And then underneath the seat, you'll flip open a cover to insert the key to release the seat. Easily sliding the seat back and off the bike, it reveals the battery as well as some of the electronics. You have a little bit of storage in the rear end of the bike that can almost fit a cell phone. And then underneath the seat, there's also a little toolkit with 2 screwdrivers and an Allen wrench. So now to take a look at the gauges as well as all the controls, insert the key, turn it to the on position. This bike features a digital display. As you can see, we have all the warning lights in the top. You can see that neutral is illuminated. We also have the rev counter up top, all your driving modes, and then your digital speedometer and a fuel capacity over on the right side. Taking a look at the left side of the handlebars, we have your traction control button on this right side. Toggling this down and up will control what you have traction control set at. If I toggle this down, it'll go into traction 2. Then toggling it back up, that goes into traction 1. And then if I go ahead and hold it up, that will turn traction control off. And then you also have your headlight controls on the left side, turning your high beam on and off, and your flasher is up above that. We have your horn, and then your turn signal on the bottom side, just clicking it into place and tapping it to turn off. And then over on the right side, we have the engine kill switch as well as the starter. We have the mode controller right here as well as your hazards. Clicking this over to the left, both turn signals turn on for your emergency hazards. Just tapping this will go into the different driving modes. We have mode B, which is more of a conservative mode, the standard mode, which is just normal, and then mode A is more of a sport mode with a little bit better performance. And then to go ahead and start it up to listen to the exhaust, we'll fire it up. We can see the tack in the center. Alright guys, so we are now on the MT-09. Gonna ride around and see what this bike has to offer. So it looks like I am in mode A and traction is in 1. I think let's go to standard just because that's like the normal mode. So starting off with turning circle, this is a pretty tight turn. You can turn it very nicely. So then starting up in first gear. Yeah, it gets up and moves, and the front end just slightly seemed to get off the ground a little bit. This bike has some serious power that I wasn't expecting, quite honestly. But as far as your normal riding, when you're just riding the bike normally, it's a very upright position. As you can see, my arms are pretty straight, so I have a nice comfortable seating position. The pegs are at a good level to where my knees are not too bent, but they're not super straight either. So it's really nice that this is a comfortable bike, and if I just kind of move myself on the seat a little bit, I can feel out where I'd like to sit. It does slope a little bit downwards towards the gas tank right here, but once you kind of find that position up forward a little bit more, it's a little bit more flatter. But right in the center, that's a really good spot. I like the overall view of the bike. It has a really cool view of seeing these large handlebars, and then the gauges are very easy to read. The clutch pedal and all the shifting, that's very simple. Has a decent sound to it. I could see upgrading that, making it a little bit louder. And then we'll just toggle the different modes. We're gonna go into mode A, and then with traction control, we have a 2, and then we'll just leave that off for right now. Not that I'm gonna go too crazy. But I did ride the bike earlier, and traction control actually kicked in and kind of limited me from doing some accelerations. But second gear, wow. The torque, that is incredible to ride. I love the torque in this thing. That is so freaking awesome. And that is really touchy, the throttle, especially in the mode that I'm in right now, which this is all the most aggressive modes. And then using the turn signal and everything, the mirrors, visibility is really good all around the bike, using the mirrors and how everything is laid out. And I like the hand positions too. You have a really just comfortable arm position, and everything just seems very nice and comfortable. You could take this on a really good long road trip. So now let's get up to some speed, just do a nice acceleration, getting up and going to about 50. Very touchy acceleration. Wow. Yeah, you can definitely feel just low end power. I know this thing only redlines closer to about 11,000 RPM, so this is not a bike you're really gonna just wind out and just go crazy with like a sport bike. But normal driving, you know, just riding at 40 miles an hour in fourth gear, low RPM. Wow. I don't know if you can see my body go back a little bit, but this thing gets up and moves for sure. And then overall cruising now, we'll go to 6th gear. We're at a really low RPM, closer to 3,000 actually. And then the suspension seems to absorb the bumps very nicely. It has a really good balance, it seems. Like just doing some turns like that, I feel like the bike, it's really easy to rock back and forth, which is really nice. And then the hand controls are easy as well. Pretty easy to rev match a shift. Brakes do really well. And then back to some 2nd gear. Oh man, this is a fun bike to just cruise around on. I really am enjoying the torque you get, like just for daily riding and everything. So from 1st gear, I'll probably do a wheelie. Yep, so really easy to get a wheelie going on this thing. You don't even have to think about it. And then if we put it down into mode B, this is the very sluggish. This would be good for rain mode, especially with traction control on. But driving in this mode now, the throttle is very conservative, very limited. So this is a good way if you are a beginner rider, this could be a good mode to have this bike in. But of course I've been riding for my entire life, so I don't need that. But it is cool that it does have the option. Like that is, wow. Like I'm trying to get a gas. Oh man, that is not the mode for me, mode A. That's where it's at. I really like it actually. It's really comfortable. I like the brakes do a really good job. Everything seems to be put together very well. And just the power that you get in this thing. Not even thinking, it just pulls. So like for around town, you just don't have to worry about any type of power. I have not ridden an FZ-09 or the 10, but at least with this one, adequate power and more than that. It sounds pretty good too. And then overall handling with the bike, when you take some quicker turns, it goes really well. It's not a super sport bike or anything like that, but I feel like when you take some hard turns, have some speeds, it's really easy to rock back and forth. So I'm definitely liking that. And then power, I mean, you get right out of the turns as well. So as far as a bike that you can have fun with all the handling, all the good stuff like that,
I mean, yeah, this is definitely a fun bike. But that, I think, is going to wrap it up for taking a look at the 2020 MT-09. Huge shout out and thank you again to my buddy Cameron for providing his personal bike for today's video. Check out his Instagram down below. He told me I could have some fun with the bike, so that was a lot of fun. But thank you again to Cameron. Check him out. But hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next video.